naririnig lang natin ay parang ang gulo-gulo yata ng immigration industry ng Canada.
Basically, hindi siya magulo eh. Ang nagpapagulo is coming from those different opinions who are not even allowed to give opinions. It will become tougher now or tighter.
Dumami talaga ba?
Dumami talaga.
Kliyente?
Dumami talaga.
Wow.
Ang akala nila, these agencies, they can process immigration applications and collect monies in exchange for that processing, which is under Canadian laws, that is not allowed.
Naipagtanggol mo ang mga farmers, no?
I did some paperworks until I reached a federal court. Fortunately, nakipag-settle sa akin ang IRCC na, okay, payag kaming pag-station dito. Alisin yung removal. Just tell us your present predicaments or your situation. And we will understand that and we will be flexible. Pilipino tayo eh.
To the next level, live to the next level, live to the next level podcast.
Pangarap mo rin bang mag-migrate dito sa Canada? Whether you're planning to work, study, or enter as a caregiver, international student, or professional skilled worker. The only questions probably in your head is, handa ka na nga ba talaga? We'll uncover the real stories and hard truths behind the immigration process. Bakit? Kahit may job offer ka na, pwede ka pa rin ma-deny ang permit mo. Ano ang common mistakes ng mga aspiring students and workers na nagiging reason for delays or outright rejections? At paano mo maiiwasan maging victim ng misinformation, ng scam? Baka mapunta ka, instead of Canadian dream, ay maging Canadian nightmare. Kaya kung balak mong mag-migrate sa Canada, huwag mong palalampasin itong episode na ito. Sa pagbabalik natin, ang To The Next Level, makakasama na natin ang ating idol, lawyer, immigration lawyer, attorney, June Saludares. It's not about me, it's not about you, it's all about we, To The Next Level. Welcome back to The Next Level. My name is Ronald Alantula. I'm your daily blogger in Toronto, founder-creator ng To The Next Level. So mga viewers natin at nanonood, kung hindi pa kayo nakasubscribe sa ating channel, kindly click this link below and mag-subscribe po kayo, and don't forget to click the notification bell para palaging updated. Welcome back to To The Next Level. Ang ating guest ngayon ay isang Ilocano, lumaki sa Pampanga, nag-migrate, hindi sa Canada, sa Manila, para mag-aral ng BS Biology sa University of Santo Tomas. Pinangarap ng kanyang tatay na siya'y maging doktor, pero inilayo siya ng pagkakataon, lumipad sa Binyan, Laguna naman, para doon magtapos ng kanyang pag-lawyer sa University of Perpetual Health sa Binyan, Laguna, at doon din nakapagtrabaho niya. Then, he migrated in the land of opportunity, Canada, ng 2010. Then, he took Masters of Law in York University at naging paralegal siya, licensed paralegal ng 2013, at hinarap niya ang mga malalaking kaso sa immigration fraud ng 2016. Marami ho siyang naipanalo, and most of these victories ng mga Pilipino ay nagkaroon ng permanent resident dito sa Canada. At kasalukuyang almost 90% ng kanyang mga hinahandle na cases and issues right now ay mga out of status in their field of endeavors, international students, caregivers, spousal sponsorship or spousal sponsorship na nawala na ng status. At hindi lang yon, yung mga temporary foreign workers na nawalan din ng status sa Canada. Kaya mga To The Next Level, isang ama ng 4 na anak, ating i-welcome, Attorney June Saludares. Welcome to The Next Level, sir.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Ron, for inviting me here to the Next Level podcast mo. And I'm happy to be here with you, discussing some issues about immigration. And hopefully, lahat ng katanungan o yung gustong itanong, malaman ng ating mga kababayan, masagot ko in some ways.
Sa abot ng inyong makakaya. And for sure, I'm very excited na mag-guest namin kayo to the next level dahil marami ang issues, maraming problema na naririnig at nakikita natin sa kapanahunan ngayon at ang naririnig lang natin ay parang ang gulo-gulo yata ng immigration industry ng Canada. Ito ba'y mapapatotohanan mo o ano ang iyong komento rito muna?
First of all, hindi naman talaga siya magulo eh. It's just that there are a lot of misinformation na nangyayari na nasanay sila dito noon, biglang naghigpit ang Canada. Pero basically, hindi siya magulo eh. Ang nagpapagulo is coming from those different opinions who are not even allowed to give opinions. Doon nagkakagulo eh, yung misinformation. Pero my own observation, hindi naman siya magulo.
Ano lang?
Medyo naghigpit lang ang
Medyo
Canada.
naghigpit lang. So, para maiayos.
Para maiayos yung,
Okay.
yung mga nangyari noon.
Okay, attorney, can you help us understand doon sa sinabi mong hindi naman talaga magulo, inaayos lang. Gusto kong balikan yung kababayan natin na nag-comment nga na parang ang gulo, na nalilito na sila dahil pabago-bago ang rules and regulations ng immigrations dito sa Canada. Saan kaya nila ito kinuha at maaari mo kaming itama doon sa ganong anggulo?
Yes, Ron. To give you a background, nag-umpisa lahat to during the pandemic. Wherein the immigration, IRCC, medyo niluwagan nila eh. Like, for example, tourists, they can easily change their status from tourist to worker. Student permit, na dati allowed lang to work 20 hours per week, they allowed them to have a full-time job, even still in school. And then, yung students na pumunta rito, they can bring along their family. Foreign workers who came here, they can also bring along their family. In short, naging maluwag siya.
Yan ba ay dahil sa mabait ang Canadian government sa humanity o meron silang ibang agenda rito?
Wala
Ba't
namang
biglang bumait dahil sa pandemic, bumait
yeah, because
sila?
of the pandemic. Basically, because of
ano?
the pandemic.
Okay.
Baka magkaroon ng shortage ng workers.
Sabagay.
Kasi we are dependent, lalo sa farming in other provinces. So, kailangan nila ng mga workers. Medyo nagpanic sila doon.
I see. Sabagay, tama ho kayo doon, attorney, dahil nung pandemic, nag-COVID-19, marami talaga nawala din ng buhay, no?
Oh, yeah.
Maraming namatay. So, parang sa kanilang mga pagpaplano ay medyo niluwagan talaga ang immigration process.
Yes.
So, ano ho ang inyong mga experience naman during those pandemics? Dumami talaga ba?
Dumami talaga.
Kliyente?
Dumami talaga.
Wow.
Talagang dati, pagka sumakay ka ng bus dito, pag meron pa tayong tinatawag na rush hour, o yung patay na oras din minsan. So, maluwag ang bus. After that instance na niluwagan nila, halos laging standing room sa loob ng bus eh. Not only with the transportation. Transportation, pila sa hospital, work, maraming na-displaced na dyan eh. Na instead of hiring permanent residents or Canadians, they would rather hire international students who are, you know, the salary is much lower compared to a PR or citizen. So, hindi na paghandaan niya ng Canada. And also, we cannot deny the fact na meron tayong housing shortages.
Okay.
Na lagi nila sinasabi, kaya ang mahal ng bahay dito because of the shortage.
Marami naghahanap, kulang
marami,
ang mga bahay.
kulang.
So, nagtataas ngayon.
Magtataas ang presyo. So, yun yung mga naging alarming sa government ng Canada. Not only in Ontario, but also the entire Canada.
The entire Canada, hindi na sa Ontario.
Hindi na sa Ontario yun. So, ang nangyari, ito yung sinasabi nilang, bakit ang gulo? Kasi immediately nung nakita ng Canada yun, they end all these policies, yung
Policies.
mga temporary public policies na pwede nang mag-extend ang post-graduation work permit na ngayon, inalis nila yon. Hindi mo na basta mai-extend ang work permit mo kung wala ka dito sa tier level na to. Hindi mo na pwedeng dali ang spouse or children mo kung hindi ka nasa master's degree or PhD degree or lawyer, doctor ang programs mo. So, hindi siya magulo. Hinigpitan lang nila. Because of that sudden, unexpected increase in the population.
And the immigration industry should have a control over this unexpected things.
They have that control.
Okay. And bilang isang immigration lawyer, ano naman ang naging increase ng inyong clientele during those pandemics and up to now? Bumaba ba ngayon, marami noon, or parami pa rin ngayon? Ano ho ba talaga ang status ng industry ng immigration?
Dahil ang practice ko
Industry,
is, yun nga, yung as you have said, out of status or mawawalan ka na ng status or ang tagal mo na dito, wala kang status. Sa nangyari, so ang daming taong dumating, ayaw nang umalis. So yung question mo kung maging ano yung tumaas ba, dumami ba yung practice ko? Yeah, dumami because of those people. Na I don't celebrate on or I'm not happy with that. Kasi kababayan natin halos eh. Remember, Philippines or Filipinos belongs to the big three when it comes to immigration population.
Okay.
So, I still, my sympathy with our kababayan, sandun pa rin. Ang dami nila. And they're hesitant na lumapit noon. I don't know why.
Ayan, pag-usapan natin yung mga hesitations ng mga kababayan natin sa loob at labas ng Canada dahil may mga naglabasan ng mga immigration fraud, ghost consultants na kung saan ay dumami din ang talagang luhaan dahil nabiktima sila ng scam. Sa pagbabalik ng To The Next Level, ating tanungin ang mga naging experience at ng ating guest ngayon na si Attorney Jun Saludares sa pagbabalik ng To The Next Level. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not about me.
It's not about you.
It's all about we to the next level. Nagbabalik tayo sa The Next Level. Diretsoy na natin. Noong 2016, lumarga, humarap sa matinding laban ang ating guest, Attorney Jun Saludares. Walk us through. Bigyan mo kami ng istorya ng iyong naipagtanggol ng mga kababayan natin na nabiktima ng immigration fraud or scam.
Yes, Ron. Ganito kasi yan eh. Na itong mga kababayan natin, during even my younger years, na pag sinabi mong, I want to go abroad, I want to go to Saudi Arabia, ang number one advice lagi sa atin is, pumunta ka sa agency. Doon nag-umpisa yan eh. At tumanim yan hanggang ngayon. So, kung gusto mong pumunta sa Canada, pumunta ka sa agency.
So, can we define agency para sa mga viewers natin na nasa Pilipinas, nasa Dubai, nasa Hong Kong? Pag sinabing agency, ano ang impression nito sa mga nagtatanong?
Ang impression nila, pag sinabi mong agencies, they are allowed to process, particularly in Canada, ang akala nila, these agencies, they can process immigration applications and collect monies in exchange for that processing. Which is, under Canadian laws, that is not allowed. Unless you are a licensed immigration consultant or a lawyer. Kasi nga, so akala nila ganon, they go to agency and these agencies, they collect money and process the application. Nakakapunta naman. Ang problema, minsan, yung siningil, hindi naman dapat nila siningil. Say, for example, the popular LMIA. Diba? Para magkaroon ka ng work dito, you have to get your LMIA,
Labor Market Impact
Impact Assessment. It will allow the Canadian employers a go signal for them to hire foreign workers. Ang ginagawa nito mga agencies, sasabihin na sa kababayan, meron kaming kilalang employer. Pero you have to pay us.
So, to make the long story short, pwede ba nating ihalin tulad ng agency sa what we call these booker o yung may tawag
Middleman.
doon, middleman, ano?
Exactly.
Pumapagitna lang talaga at nire-represent niya ang pangakong makarating sa Canada na wala namang boundaries and securities according to the Canadian law. So, it's between them lang talaga.
Kaya if you will observe later on, inalis yung points.
Tinanggal ang
LMIA.
puntos. Okay.
Because of that abuse.
Okay.
They charge that minimum 5,000 to 15,000. Imagine that.
Itong mga agency na to.
Yeah.
Para kumita sila.
Yeah, para kumita, which is not allowed. You cannot charge foreign workers. If you are recruiting foreign workers to have an employment in
Canada.
Ontario.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, hindi allowed yun. Pero, kasi tayo, yung mga kababayan natin, akala nila, agency kasi yan eh. Na naghahanap ng trabaho para sa atin eh. Kaya akala nila okay lang. And what happened pagdating dito?
Marami palang requisitos, processes, laws na kung saan hindi tumutugma sa mga sinabi ng mga middleman.
Yes.
Kaya pagdating nila dito, iiyak na lang, mawawalan ng status.
Mawalan ng status, punta sa consulate.
During those years, na pabalita na nailagay pa kayo sa prestigious news article, na ipagtanggol mo ang mga farmers, no?
Yeah.
Can you walk us through very quickly ano ang naging puntos mo para maipanalo ito?
Same. Nung sinabi ko kanina, if you are not a licensee, you are not allowed to collect any fees from a temporary foreign workers.
At dyan pumanig ang batas sa'yo.
Yes.
Dahil merong batas na nagsasabing you're not
They are
allowed.
not allowed.
And who's only allowed to collect money?
The only people who are allowed to collect fees here
Peace.
are
Okay.
immigration consultants and lawyers.
Immigration lawyers.
Yeah.
O lawyers. At so yung mga proseso na ipagtanggol nyo ay hindi pala dumaan sa proseso ng lisensyadong
Hindi sila. And they are still doing that
professionals.
until now.
And what causes them to lose their status pala?
Kasi, kunyari, nagbayad lang ng LMIA yan. Hindi naman nila alam na seasonal eh. They don't know what is seasonal. So, minsan ang seasonal is 3 months. Umutang ka na magkano sa atin if that LMIA was sold to you like 10,000. Magkano sa atin yun?
Na ang pinangako ay
And later on,
pangmahabang
and you'll get your PR status
PR,
later on.
permanent residence sa mga
hindi
kababayan.
naman.
Okay.
Kasi hindi na-explain ng agency eh. That's the problem. Doon nabibiktima. Kasi yung eagerness natin eh. And the belief that these agencies are allowed.
Maraming matatalino, maraming dumiskarte, kaya nagkanda kalaboso ang kinahinatnan, pero naipagtanggol mo ito.
Ito mga biktima.
Ang mga biktima. Ano sa tingin nyo ang naging dahilan na pumabor sa inyo ang batas?
Ay, hindi. Kasi tama talaga yung pinaglalaban ko eh. Na-exploit na yung mga yan and then they were collected illegal fees by these people. So, exorbitant fees.
So when you say na-exploit, kaya ba ang ginawa nyong depensa rito, or not depensa, pinagtanggol nyo, ay going to the direction of humanitarian consideration? Is that the reason why?
Hindi
Kaya
naman.
sinabigyan
Kasi,
ng permanent residency?
Yeah, mostly.
Okay. So, that's the angle that you're going,
Yeah,
that you did.
Pumunta sila doon. Yung iba pumunta sa humanitarian and compassionate application.
Humanitarian compassionate. Okay.
Yung iba naman, through the marriage, kasi naikuha ko naman sila nung vulnerable open work permit. So, they were allowed to work. And while working, na-comply nila yung some requirements to apply for PR.
Bago natin iwanan itong tapos na kaso na ipanalo nyo, pwede mo ba kami bigyan ng 3 puntos, 3 points to the next level? Kaya nga, going to the next level. Anong 3 pointers mo na nakita sa sitwasyon ng 2016 big scam na hinandle nyo?
I will speak in general, for our kababayan. Number one is you have to be vigilant.
Vigilant.
Mapagmasid ka dapat. Hindi lang yung you're getting your source of information from social media. You know, there's nothing wrong with social media, but my point is, go to that source that is credible. Hindi yung tabloid or from the experience lang na nakarating ako sa Canada, now I'm sharing my experience, you know. You have to be vigilant. Ano yung source mo? Number two, you have to do your due diligence.
Due diligence. Number 2.
Due diligence. Hindi porke sinabi niya immigration consultant ako, a lawyer ako, hindi ka na mag-check. You have to check. If that person represents himself as a lawyer, then you can check with the Law Society of Ontario. Meron tayong directory doon. Sinabi niya, immigration consultant siya. You can check with the College of Immigration Consultants of Canada.
Makikita nyo po dyan sa link.
Just type the last name of that person you're dealing with. Makikita nyo yan.
It's verifiable nowadays. Kahit noon pa, no? Verifiable.
Kaya nagtataka ko, until now. Until now.
Okay.
Nabibiktima pa rin sila. And third, if it sounds too good to be true, and then you have to be, warn yourself. You have to be cautious on that. You know, hindi yan basta dahil napakaganda, yung sinasabi ko. Don't just get an opinion or a legal advice from my expert opinion. Be sure it is an honest legal advice.
And the advantage of getting it to the right licensed practitioner is meron silang ethics and standards of their industry na kung saan pwede talaga silang may reklamo, may complain kung hindi nila ginawa yung dapat na tamang gawin. Kaya mas mainam, tama sinabi ni Attorney, 3 points, be vigilant, have a due diligence, and be cautious.
When it sounds too good to be
When it
true.
sounds too good to be true. And how is the feeling nung naipanalo mo tong mga kaso na to bago tayo mag-commercial?
Well, I'm always happy with our kababayans. You know, na they never hesitated to come to me. Hindi sila nagdalawang isip, and yung trust nandun. Happy na ako doon.
Ayan, natuloy-tuloy ang happiness. Pero baka mamaya sa pagbabalik natin, may mga konting intriguing questions tayo. Kaya naman, habang magpapaalam kami, iinom muna kami ng kape sa pagbabalik ng It's Not About Me,
It's not about you.
It's all about we to the next level. Again, welcome back to the next level. My name is Ronald Alan Turla, ang inyong daily vlogger, founder, creator ng To The Next Level. Kaya naman, pilitin nyo ako na magtanong ng mga frequently asked questions sa isang immigration lawyers, especially sa mga nagpaplanong lumipad papuntang Canada for a better future. So, ito, attorney, meron tayong mga katanungan dito. Why do you think so many Filipinos avoid consulting immigration lawyers like you at mas pinili na lang nilang doon sa mga kapitbahay, kakilala, kamag-anak na nag-do it yourself?
Isa sa mga problema natin mga Pilipino yan eh. Or not even Filipinos. Some nationalities also. Because they have this impression na you go to a lawyer, they will charge you expensive fees, exorbitant fees, which is not true. We charge based on the merit of the case, on the matter of the client. Kung mahirap yan, and I will incur a lot of time studying that, definitely mataas yung fee. So, ang lagi nilang tinitignan is yung fee, hindi yung kakayanan ng lawyer. You know, ba't kayo pupunta sa lawyer kung kaya namang gawin ito? Na hindi lawyer. So, yun ang nagiging thinking ng Pinoys. Alam mo naman yan. Kinalakihan ko na rin yun eh.
So, ang dahilan could be APs, money. Pero at the end of the day, they will end up going back
To a lawyer.
To a lawyer, right? So, yan yung mga...
Na i-charge namin syempre, na mas mahirap na yung case mo ngayon, the fee will increase.
Do you think immigration changes are going to get tighter these days? Bakit o bakit hindi? Why or why not?
It will become tougher now or tighter. In fact, the immigration IRCC now have laid down their limits or capacity or cap in getting foreign workers and PR, permanent residents. Say for example, caregivers. We are aware, or all of us are aware na nag-open ulit yan noong March 31st, 2025. And it took them like how many hours? 4 hours, tapos na. And yung mga nag-apply doon, not only Filipinos, they came from different parts of the world. So that is one way of tightening the immigration pathway for caregivers. Imagine, at hindi lahat ng nakapasok doon are qualified. Na doon, mabilis lang talagang mag-ano sa computer. Kasi pabilisan eh. That's a problem with nung naging digitalized ang application. Di katulad ng paper-based, you just submit, nakapila ka doon. That is one. And then, cap on the PR, hindi na rin sila ganun kaluwag or kadami. Dati, like 200,000 in a year. Ngayon, hindi na. Student permits, hindi na rin katulad dati na, kasi kaya naman dumami nung aplikante because they can bring along their families with them. Pagpunta rito, wala na rin ngayon unless you are in a higher level of programs like master's degree and etc. So it's now becoming too tight. Pero definitely they're doing this primarily for the sake of the PRs and Canadians na talagang na-displace sila rin noon. And they're trying to correct that.
So mukhang malalim na mga pagbabago ang makikita natin sa mga susunod na panahon. Pero hopefully, mas maging available ang mga resources na ito sa online. Para at the same time, sabi nga ni attorney, go directly to the right person. So you will not fall into a trap. No? What was most shocking case you handled when someone they were protected but end up facing deportation or status denial? Meron mo ba kayong na-experience na ganito?
Oh yeah, just recently, siguro last month, she's a caregiver. So her belief was that the employer applied for the extension of her work permit through LMIA. So that was her belief. And then comes when her status was about to expire, he or she asked the employer, what's happening with my work permit extension, only to find out that there was none. No application.
Hindi in-apply ng employer?
Walang application ng employer. Although the employer was telling me, no, I paid an immigration consultant, pero wala nang may pakitang proof. So in short, walang application.
Pero the days passed by.
Oh yeah, until she left with no status na.
No status na.
Yeah. So, nag-issue ng removal ang CBSA. I handled her matter, nasa airport na siya.
Wow. May sinabi nyo nasa airport, pauwi na ng Pilipinas.
Ano na, talagang nandun, nakikipagbakbakan na sa CBSA sa airport. So, I did some paperwork until I reached a federal court. File ako ng petition doon, application for judicial review and motion to stay na huwag siyang paalisin. Unfortunately, nakipag-settle sa akin ang IRCC na, okay, payag kaming mag-stay sa dito. Alisin yung removal. So, yun yung pinaka-recent na ano. Although, there are other similar cases ahead of that. I mean, nauna na noon. Same scenario. Yung iba naman, victims ng immigration consultant, kinolektahan ng fees, only to find out, wala ring application na nakafile. Worst, yung immigration
Natulog
consultant,
sa angkungan. Parang
yung
ganun.
immigration consultant, when she paid that immigration consultant, the client, ang ano is suspended yung license. So that's why I'm telling you a while ago that you have to be vigilant. You have to do your due diligence. Tulad nun, suspended pala yung license niya. So, ano nangyari? Same thing. I-deport, i-remove ka ng CBSA and then, you'll be spending a lot of money for that.
Because you will need a better
Kasi
legal
sayang
services.
Yes,
Dahil-
sayang kasi. Kasi were it not of those flaws or fraud na nangyari, PR na siya. They're applying for their PR eh.
Pathway to PR or
Nandun na. All they have
naka-apply
to
na.
do is to extend the work permit. Now, wala naman pala naka-apply. One condition is in applying a PR, you must maintain a valid status.
Okay.
So, akala nila they have that valid status only to find out nga na wala naman palang in-apply. Kompleto, may IELTS, educational equivalency, experience, nandun lahat.
So they come to you and you were able to solve the problem. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't
Fortunately.
mean na dahil sa immigration lawyer ka, hindi lahat ng same cases ay
You will always
pwedeng mag-guaranteed na may papanalo.
Oh, of course. We
Walang
do not,
ganon.
we do not guarantee.
You guys don't guarantee. Ayan. So mga kababayan, nakita naman ninyo, talagang by experience and by truthful service ng inyong kausap, dapat ma-verify muna natin talaga.
And you have to be honest.
Honest service
Ang sabi mo
talaga.
talaga sa client. Not just giving them na ito ang gagawin. You have to be honest. Anong bang status ng kaso nila?
Kung ano yung standing, no?
Yeah. Ma-assess mo naman yan as a lawyer. You would know.
What are the dangers of not getting a legal advice before submitting documents or application? Ano yung mga danger dito?
Actually,
Na hindi tayo nagko-consult, mga kababayan, ng mga legal expert advice.
when I was still in immigration consultancy program, I was in school, my teacher told us the IRCC made the website understandable by a grade 10 student. So, yung danger is basically siguro from your own self. If you're doing that, at mali ang understanding mo,
Interpretation
mo ng mga policies na nandun. Kasi everything is in the website of the IRCC. Steps on how to do that, the requirements that you have to comply, nandun yan eh. Minsan nagkakamali ang interpretation ng tao, ng aplikante. Yun yung danger. Kasi,
ng do it yourself.
ng do it yourself.
Alright.
Example, have you been married or in common law before? Ang understanding natin mga Pilipino, wala namang common law sa atin eh. Inono mo yan. See, just by that simple question,
It could change everything.
it could change everything.
Oh my God.
And that might even constitute misrepresentation.
Misrepresentation is the word, guys.
Yeah, so pagka aside from being refused sa application mo, you will be banned here for like 5 years. So that's the danger.
So, mga kababayan, to the next level, gusto nyo bang going to the next level? Go with the expert legal advice. Anyway, ito pa, isa pang frequently asked questions sa mga kababayan natin. If someone is watching right now, attorney, maraming nanonood, at may manonood pa, yung iba tulog pa. At nandun sila sa closed work permit or in-between sponsorships, what was the most important questions from you na kailangan nilang pagandaan?
Kailan mag-expire yung status ko?
If they're right
Kung
now in
nasa
the closed work permit,
yan,
yeah.
kailan mag-expire ang study
That's one
work
thing.
permit ko?
Expiry date.
Yeah, you have to be careful in that. Babantayan mo yon. Kasi yung iba, ay, nakalimutan ko.
May parameters ba ng weeks or months
Yeah,
dapat?
actually, as early as before 30 days, you can apply for the
Okay pa
extension.
yun?
Yeah, you can do that. Ay, yung iba kasi siguro, sobrang busy, nakakaligtaan nila. Or, meron silang hinar na somebody, nakaligtaan naman na gawin.
So they should be on top of what they
Oh
want.
yeah, wag nilang iasa lahat sa consultant nila o sa lawyer nila. Kasi, I understand naman these people. Pero you, being the affected one, you have to be, aware. You have to be alert in everything, especially if you have dreams here. Bantayan mo yung status mo.
So, wag mag-procrastinate. To the next level ka. Kailangan on time. Discipline, right?
Yeah.
And again, as we said, go with the expert advice. Wag basta-basta do it yourself. Baka matalisod tayo.
Expert and honest.
expert and honest. Bakit? Meron bang expert and not dishonest?
Sen, I can give you an expert opinion because I'm after, monetary considerations. Pero is it an honest? What can I say about your matter? You have to be honest on that.
Alright, isa na lang. Ito yung tanong na ito. Anong pwede mong sabihin sa mga kababayan natin ngayon? They might be a caregiver, temporary foreign worker, or they could be a student, international student dito, na nandito na sa Canada, nagdadalawang isip kung magkokonsulta ng legal advice regarding sa status nila.
Number one, lawyers naman in Ontario, especially Filipinos, they are flexible. They understand your situation. Just tell us your present predicaments or your situation. And we will understand that and we will be flexible. Kasi kami naman, especially me, I would rather give you, masaya ka. Not because nagbayad ka sa akin, because I gave you a very convincing advice. Ang importante is, alam mo yung dadaanan mo eh. You don't worry about the money. As I have said, we are flexible. Pilipino tayo eh. I understand the plight, especially the foreign workers. A lot of them were victimized, exploited, and trafficked. I understand them. Just tell us.
Ang isang attorney Jun Saludares ba ay umaayaw din sa kanyang mga nag-i-inquire for your service?
Yeah, yung minsan, yung mga basic ones na pwede ko naman sabihin na punta ka dito kay yung kaibigan ko, mas mag-guide ka yan, especially kung marami akong deadlines.
No, what I'm saying is yung inaayawan mo kasi wala talagang pag-asa.
Hindi, sinasabi ko, hindi ko inaayawan.
Hindi mo inaayawan, pero sinasabi ko, impronto.
Impronto.
No false hope.
I don't give false hope.
And how do you do that? For example, ako lumapit sa inyo ngayon, tapos ito mga sablay, yung mga status ko, paano mo sasabihin sa akin?
Example,
Sige po.
i-remove na yung asawa ko because of these cases. Pang-ilan na ba yan? Pangatlo na, hindi pa rin nagbago. Ay sinasabi ko, wala tayong pag-asa dito. Tatanggapin ko yung kaso mo, ito yung gagasusin mo, pero itong result. I don't give them false hope. Immediately after ko malaman yung nakita ko yung paperwork siya, I give them my honest, kumbaga sa doktor, prognosis on your matter.
Prognosis, ayan. Recommendations talaga. Sa pagbabalik natin, hihingan na natin siya ng mga on the spot, wala na sa aking programa ng mga tanong, in a minute. At again, sa mga nanonood, ang topic natin ngayon ay itong immigration industry natin sa Canada ay talaga bang may pag-asa na lumuwag, sumikip. Depende yan sa ating pag-uusap with Attorney Jun Saludares. It's not about me.
It's not about you.
It's all about we to the next level. Welcome back mga kababayan. Nandito tayo for the last segment of our interview, up close and personal with Attorney Jun Saludares. At babagsakan natin siya ng mga malulupit, mga tanong. Attorney Jun, ready ka na ba?
Go ahead, Ron.
So ito, mamimili ka lang sa aking mga tanong. At sa tanong na yon, nandun ang sagot. On the spot ito. Kung may violation ka sa immigration attorney, sinong gusto mong mag-represent sa'yo? Ikaw o si Harry Roque?
Ako?
Kung ikaw ay isang batas, anong title mo? The right to remain fabulous or the anti-drama clause?
Anti-drama clause.
Okay. Mas pipiliin mo bang mag-file ng 100-page appeal or makipila sa Service Canada on Monday?
Magpa-file na ako ng 100 pages of appeal.
Okay. Coffee, soft drinks, or kape na may halong legal advice?
Kape na may kahalong legal advice.
Wow, yun ang masarap, no? Ay, kung love life mo naman ay isang immigration status, NAX, anong tawag dito? Temporary, open work, or pending for review?
Pending for review.
May mas madali. Explain ang judicial review or explain bakit ka single. No objection, Your Honor.
Doon na lang sa judicial review.
Okay. Kung magpapakamping ka for Canadian politics, ayan. Anong slogan mo? No visa, no problem, or in law we trust?
In law, we trust.
No visa, no problem, ano? In law we trust. Okay, get that vote. Boto natin. Attorney Jun Saludares, mas prepared mo ba ang kliyente na tanong ng tanong o yung nag-google mo na bago magtanong?
Tanong ng tanong.
Oh, Certified Law Google Edition. Ayaw mo na
Wala siya.
Kung ipapangat ka ulit, attorney, pipiliin mo bang maging abogado ulit o maging immigration officer para ikaw na lang ang laging tama?
Magsasaka.
Oh, I think popost tayo. Bakit magsasaka? Wala doon sa aking mga tanong.
Masyado stressful yung trabaho. At least doon, I'm feeding the people.
Okay. No, talagang iboto, attorney Jun Saludares. Last one. Kung si Ninoy bumalik sa Pilipinas for love, Ninoy Aquino wala na to, di ba? Ninoy, bumalik ka sa Pilipinas for love. Ikaw, anong bansa ang babalikan mo para sa love life mo?
Pilipinas pa rin.
Pilipinas pa rin. Ayan, mga kababayan, nakita naman natin ang on the spot na funny, clever. Paki-rewind, paki-review, at mag-comment below. Kahit i-bash nyo, no problem. Everything will be counted for. And Attorney Jun, para sa huling mensahe, sa mga naandi dito sa Canada na nawalan ng status or ongoing ang kanilang application for permanent resident, at versus doon naman sa mga kababayan natin na sa iba't ibang bansa na nais magpunta sa Canada, ano po ang inyong huling mensahe sa kanila?
For those kababayans or not even anybody, temporary or foreigners who are inside Canada na nandito na at wala kayong status and you seem to be lost or out of status na, don't hesitate to come visit a lawyer or an immigration consultant. Kunan sila ng advice. As I have said, wag lang basta advice, it has to be an honest advice. Okay, huwag kayong manghinayang dun sa consultation fees, magkano lang naman yun. And sometimes, flexible lang mga lawyers. I guarantee you that. Huwag kayong matatakot dun sa mahal pag pumunta ka sa lawyer. No, huwag kayong matakot dun. Just let them know your situation. I know a lot of people na lawyers dito na hindi Pilipino na they understand your situation. Huwag kayong mag-hesitate na lumapit sa amin. Doon sa mga nasa labas, again, you have to be more vigilant. You have to plan your life. Your passion is number one. If your passion is coming here to build a new start, a new life, go for it. Yung nasa labas na you think you're satisfied and you want to gamble, think twice. And talk to other resourceful or credible person. Huwag lang yung nakapasya lang dito and then sasabihin sa inyo ang buhay sa Canada, ganon. Huwag kayong basta maniniwala. O masarap ang buhay sa Canada. Huwag kayong basta maniniwala doon. Hindi, yung success nyo, when you come or to any other, not only in Canada, it will always depend on yourself. Go where your passion is. Where your heart is, that is where your passion will go. Yun lang.
Maraming salamat, Attorney Jun Saludares. At again, guys, every gising is a blessing. Sabi nga ng isang commentator, no? The life is a risk and the risk of all risk is not taking the risk of all. And if you want to change, don't do it tomorrow. Do it now. And do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Again, ang sabi po ng ating guest ngayon na si Attorney Jun Saludares, 3 pointers to the next level. 1, be vigilant. 2, make your due diligence. And 3, if sounds too good to be true, be cautious. Because this is your life. Again, my name is Ronald Alan Tula. I'm your daily host here in To The Next Level. It's not about me.
It's not about you.
It's all about we to the next level.